you by Beaver Dam Piggly Wiggly.
12:38 is our time. Now it is time for community comment. We go to the video room. Here is Craig Warnbull.
That's right. We're in our new Daily Dodge studios here at WBEV Good Karma Brands. It is the Daily Dodge studio where we broadcast not only our radio program, but on occasion, more and more often, we are also broadcasting video streams. So you can go to the dailydodge.com website, and under the video tab, the live program today will pop up there. And if you miss it, you could always catch it in a podcast form under that same tab on dailydodge.com. Without further ado, we want to welcome our guests on the program today. Actually, this is the kind of the first of a three-part July program that we bring you every year. The Beaver Dam Area Community Theater has a busy month in July and sometimes into August and parts of June, but really right in the heart of the summer, they've got the high school youth troupe, they've got the elementary school youth troupe, they've got the adult, the big main stage production, and sometime in all of that, they also find time to give the middle school kids an opportunity to hit the stage and do what they do best. And that is the group that we have got here on the program today. We've got 6 children that are part of the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater's middle school Teletale program, along with some directors and parents here in the new Daily Dodge studios. We want to welcome into the studio for this first segment. We've got Jessica Lawrence. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us on the program today.
Yes, thank you.
And we've got 2 of the 6 students here, where we're calling them students, actors. There's kind of an educational component to this that we'll talk about in just a minute, but we'll welcome 2 of those student actors into the conversation right now. They are Violet Kennedy and Neil Vanheisen. Thank you very much for joining us today, guys. How's it going?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good to hear. Violet, how's everything going with the play?
Good. We're just perfecting things right now, and
Just perfecting things right now.
well,
Fine-tuning.
perfecting.
Perfecting.
Because nothing can be perfect.
That's true. Perfection is an almost impossible thing to attain. But you guys are going to get as close to perfection as possible with the play, just this close.
We're trying.
You're getting there. What is the play this year?
Seussical the Musical Junior.
Seussical the Musical Junior. And this is about Dr. Seuss, our favorite children's author.
It's pretty much Horton Hears a Who in play form with some added characters
Okay,
and
all
all
right.
that jazz.
Now, who do you guys play?
I play JoJo, the mayor's son,
Okay.
the smallest two.
Do you have to shrink in height for this
Yep,
production?
Just gotta cut from my knees down and then
Do a lot of walking
Yeah.
on your knees for this, do you? So you're JoJo. Violet, who are you, Neil?
I am Horton the elephant, so
Ooh.
I'm the one who finds the suspect and carry him around on the clover.
You're Horton.
Yep.
Did you do any studying for this? Is for like with elephants or anything like that? Did you look
Nope.
into go to a zoo or anything like that? Do you familiar with elephants though, from just general going around life, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. So you're Horton. It is again Seussical the Musical. Do I say musical or is it musical? I think it's a musical, right?
Musical.
Jessica, you're the director.
I think if you say it too fast, it turns into musical, but it is musical.
It's musical, and it is a musical,
It is.
which is helpful if you have it in your title to actually have songs in the play.
People know what they're getting themselves into.
So Jessica, tell us a little bit about this whole process that you've got going on with the kids here. These are the middle school age kids. Teletale, what is the Teletale program?
So the Teletale program is an opportunity for students, and then we have those 3 age groups, the elementary, middle, and high school, to really get experience on stage. And it's really great because we're able to open it up to areas. So it's not just those who are involved in the Beaver Dam School District. I know we had a ton of different schools involved in the high school production. The middle school production, was a little bit more Beaver Dam localized students, but it was still great. We've got still different kids from different schools in the area.
Not just Beaver Dam kids.
Well, yes, I think it's primarily Beaver Dam students, but I mean, not just the Beaver Dam Unified.
School district. You got some Wayland, or not, well, Wayland couldn't be in there because,
Saint, where do you go, Grant?
The parochial schools?
St.
St.
Yeah,
Catherine
St.
Drexel
So,
and St. Stephen's and all
yeah,
those?
so that's
Sure.
been really great to get a chance to work with these kids. And I myself, actually, I teach in Randolph currently. So it's a whole new a whole new world for me. I started singing Aladdin in my head. But to be able to work with these kids, and some of them I know their older siblings from working with the high school students and stuff that way. So that's been really cool. So they get a chance to get on stage and work with one another and work with some really great choreographers and
Really great director.
really great directors. Oh, gee, thanks.
You already got your part.
Right. And I mean, costumes and everything has been a lot of fun. And a lot of the crew that we have been coming in to help paint sets. So all the set pieces that we have going on stage, all the prop pieces that are painted have been done by students. And that is just the coolest part, because then they really get to take that ownership and, hey, I did that.
Yeah.
It's a really cool thing. And having painted set for other shows, it's cool to be able to go, hey, I did that, and get that sort of recognition.
Yeah, that's the educational component
Oh,
that
yeah.
comes along with this tier of Teletale, where the kids really, it's not just kids being on stage, they kind of get the whole run of the mill.
Yeah, exactly.
So you are the director. Does this mean you selected Seussical the musical as the play this year?
Yes, I did.
What was it that drew you to this play? Why did you say this is what we need on the stage in Beaver Dam this year?
It is just a bright show. It's just got so much energy, and I love the music. It's just so much fun for an audience member, and even for me as a director. Every day it's fun going in and watching what new things they come up with, and singing along, backstage. But also it's challenging because there is so much diction and consonants, and to be able to understand, even though it's written as a poem, you can't deliver those lines that way. So it's a challenging learning experience for some to get over reading it as a poem instead of reading it as a line, as a part, something that your character is saying.
Violet, Neil, would you agree with that what your director is saying about the challenge that comes with the lines?
Yeah, because I know sometimes I don't have enough emotion for some of my lines, or just as Jessica and Mark said, I penguin stand where I just put my hands to the side and out.
But you've got to carry yourself differently, right? You've got to act. You're an actress. Have you found that? Have you tapped into that non-penguin stand?
Yeah, I think I have, but
Well, we're on video here. Show us the non-penguin stand if you can.
I'll go more with my hands to the side, or
All up here for days.
yeah,
All up here?
nothing down of the waist. It has to be more up.
So that's one of the things you learned. What else? Did you do the Teletale elementary school level
Yeah,
program?
I started a year after most kids my age
Okay.
do.
So you did 2 years of that?
Yes.
And would you say that was a good learning experience for you that brought you to this
Yeah,
level?
because I started more as smaller parts, and then as I go on, as I went on, I got bigger parts. So it kind of helped me to get where I am now.
So you're JoJo, and that again, that's the mayor's kid, right? You got a couple lines in this?
I have 3 lines pretty much, but most of it's singing. So
Okay.
I'm not sure if that really counts as talking lines, but
So how has the process been of not just memorizing lines, but getting into these songs and knowing these songs? I assume you guys are all off book now, right? How's that process been for you?
sometimes we can you get a headache and then you forget. That's what happened to me today. I'm not sure if you noticed, but when we were singing one of our songs, I messed up, and you just have to learn to deal with it and then go with it.
It
So-
can't be perfect all the time,
Yeah.
can you?
And you just have to deal with it, and I'm really repeating myself right now, but
It's all right.
my mom told me, say somebody messes up, you just have to go on and combine 2 of your lines and make it like it's supposed to be.
Try to
like
have it
that.
make sense. Your mom gave you some good advice. Has your mom done much
She
theater?
did high school plays. She doesn't do many now because
Okay.
of work, but
But she's got that experience under her belt. Has that been good to have a role model like that that's been
Yeah.
able to tell you, give you some pointers?
yeah.
Excellent, very good. Somebody that's got a role model as well is Neil Vanheisen. You've got 3 siblings that have been through the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater plays.
Yes.
You're the 4th.
Yep.
Fourth and final.
Yep.
No more waiting in the
more.
wings. That we're gonna no more Van
No more.
Heisens that'll be here after you run through the gamut of Teletale. You got the Horton role.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how you're approaching I mean, you're an elephant.
Mm-hmm.
You're a friendly elephant. Tell us a little bit about how you've been approaching this role.
Well, it sort of fits me because it's more of a chill role, and you're not doing a lot of different emotions. You're just sort of staying calm and just always rolling with it. And
That's Horton, right? He's
Yeah.
calm, cool, collected. He's a straight shooter. You got a lot of lines.
yes,
What, what have you been doing to remember the lines? You have any tricks?
no, I just go to practice and I hope for the best.
How's that been working out so far?
Fine, I'm getting them all down now.
That's great. Have you had any advice from your older brothers is it brothers and sisters?
Brothers and sister.
Brothers and sister. Have you gotten any advice from them?
Not really.
No, what about mom?
Yeah, she's been at the play most days doing costumes and stuff, and she'll come up there and watch sometimes and just give me little tips on what I'm doing and stuff.
Okay, all right. Tell us a little bit about the costume. Now, you're an elephant, but, with the Teletale, this is kind of more of an, what's the word I'm looking for?
More of a suggestion.
Right, yeah. It's kind of like the idea of an elephant. Tell us a little bit about your costume.
Well, I'm wearing like a gray just suit pants and a gray dress shirt and a tie, and then my face, I'm not gonna have a trunk or ears or anything, because Jessica wanted to personalize all the animals and make it more of a human show. And so I have most like sort of gray face paint on my face most of the time, but
But really, it's in this calm, cool, collected demeanor that Horton is able to project. That's the
Yeah.
real essence of the character. So this is, how many years have you been in the middle school productions now?
this is my first year in the middle school. I did one in the elementary school. I did one play, and then I skipped a year, and then now I'm back in it.
Okay, all right. What was the play that you did before?
Musicville.
Musicville, right. Were you in Musicville too?
Yes.
What character did you play in Musicville?
Mark, an evil henchman.
How about you, Neil? Who were you?
I was Radical Rhythm. I was me and Alana were the main characters then.
Yeah.
We tried to silence them. It didn't work out so well.
What's been the biggest challenge for you?
Probably learning lines.
Yeah, I imagine. Would you say you're off book now, as they
Yeah.
say? Yeah. So can you throw out a line for me? Just like jump right in the middle. Give me a line.
The only one I can think of is from our song.
Okay, Violet, you shoot.
Hello.
Hello?
Oh, I can't think right
Who's there? It's me, Jojo, the mayor's daughter.
I'm Horton, the elephant.
Are you real? Or are you a very large think?
Oh, I'm real, all right. I would state that in ink.
And this is where I messed up today.
Challenges. Those are part of the challenge. That's why you guys rehearse. How often are you guys rehearsing?
3 hours a day.
3 hours
Normally
a day.
every single weekday, but now this week we only have 2 days. So
Oh.
because
That's
our
short.
shows are on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and
So it's
Saturday.
9 to noon, so they actually just finished running the show with tech and lights and sound and mics and props and people, and so
Yeah.
so they're working hard.
So we should probably mention that because we haven't mentioned that yet. What are the show dates and show times? Can you guys help us out with that?
I know the days are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm not sure about times. 'cause
Okay.
I have my schedule at home, but
We have 2 shows on Wednesday and Friday at 1:30 and 7, I believe, and then our evening shows.
All right, 7 o'clock. Not 7:30.
Not 7:30, if I'm correct, which for most of our other shows, like the high school show and things that way, it's on the 7:30, but it's a little bit different with Teletale. It's the same, we also match the We Are Monsters, the 3rd through 5th grade performance
we
times.
gotta get home for our bedtimes.
Yes, the youngsters have to start a little bit
Yep.
earlier so that they can make that. So this has been a good educational opportunity for the kids, as we mentioned before. Tell us a little bit about your approach as a director and some of the things that you're trying to do with the kids.
Well, it's hard for me because I want to be like, oh, do it this way, but I really want them to take the time to discover and explore their character on their own. And then if we get stuck, then we'll say, well, let's try something new. It has been a lot of fun. We actually, our choreographer is Hale, and she is a high school student here at Beaver Dam, so it's been really great to work with her and kind of let her have that sort of freedom to really put the show together. The choreo just makes all the difference in the world, so that's been really great to have someone like that to work with. And we actually have 2 high school students working lights and sound as well, so really keeping everyone involved and letting them find where they can fit and feel like they succeed and have fun.
You got a favorite song, Neil?
Probably the one that me and Violet do together, Alone in the Universe.
Ooh, you guys are already like harmonizing, just saying the name of the song. That's well, what is it about that song that you think is going to be a showstopper that people will like?
We're both we're not in the same world, so we're not really talking to each other in this song, but we're both feeling lonely and stuff, and then we start getting more confident, and then that's where it bursts out.
Best friends.
Save the acting for the stage. Now the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater is going through a bit of a transition right now. You guys have had a few shows under your belt here at the theater on North Spring Street. This is going to be,
Probably going to be one of our last shows here until we move
Yeah.
to the old school.
The old school. You guys go there? Is this when it was a school or something?
No.
Okay.
No.
Some of you guys did, yeah, when St. Catherine Drexel, which is going to be the new community theater, opens up later this year. Have you guys had a good time at this, the current theater yet? Are you guys going to miss it?
I'm going to miss it because every single show I've done was pretty much there, so.
That's right. Have you done shows that aren't there?
School shows, but
Okay, sure.
you
But
know,
most of the
those
big
don't-
stage productions.
those don't count.
What
I don't get
about
to
you?
spend it with people that I love to see, and I miss them a lot during the school year because I don't get to do shows like this with them.
Right, yeah. This is really just a summer opportunity for everybody to be able to get together and do this kind of thing. They'll keep doing it at the new theater, as I understand it. And they've already added the high school level on, so when you guys are done with middle school, in addition to the high school plays, you'll get to do something on the stage over here. But it's going to be a different kind of thing. You've had sibling after sibling. You practically grew up in that theater, right?
Yeah.
And plus, by moving to the new theater, then you don't have to worry about being in a theater that's haunted.
I left that part out.
I know.
All those stories.
It's not haunted. Everybody says it's haunted. It's not haunted. You haven't seen a ghost, have you? No, it's because it's not haunted.
Maybe not.
Maybe, yeah. Before we let you guys go and bring a couple more of the students in here, why don't you tell us why you think, and Violet, we'll start with you, why you think folks should make it a point to write Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and/or Saturday on their calendar and check out Seussical the Musical Junior.
Because most people, when they grow up, they read the Sue stories and just imagine them in their head and saying, wow, that's so cool. How could he ever think of this? Well, now you see the characters that you love and grew up with come to life, and you get to enjoy your childhood memorabilia.
Well, great answer, Neil.
I was sort of going off the same thing she said. I love the music in it. It's very creative and different than what we hear most of the time now. And yeah, like she said there, you grew up with this kind of stuff, Dr. Seuss, all his books and everything. I know I did, reading all his stories and stuff and watching the movies, and I get to see it come to life with real people.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys very much for joining me on the program today.
We want to thank you for having us.
Well, thank you very much, Violet. That's Violet Kennedy. She plays JoJo. Neil Vanheisen is Horton in Seussical the Musical Junior, which hits the stage this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Show times are at 7 p.m. There is a matinee on Wednesday and Friday at 1:30. What's the ticket price, Director?
It is $8.
All right, very good. And that is one ticket price regardless of where you go. You can get tickets right now where?
I believe they start at Rechecks. You can also pick them up online or at the door.
All right, that's bdact.org if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
All right, and you can get those. Those are available right now. We do have to take a break. When we come back, a couple more of the student actors from the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater's Teletale production of Seussical the Musical Junior.
Thank you, Craig. Community comment continues. Once again, here is Craig Warmbold.
And our guests are with the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater, specifically the middle school age youth troupe that is putting on a show this week. It is Seussical the Musical Junior, and it's on the stage this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 o'clock. And there are some matinees on Wednesday and Friday as well. Tickets are $8 available at Rechex Food Pride or at bdact.org. Want to welcome back into the conversation the director of Seussical, Jessica Lawrence, and two new student actors here with us. We have got Grant Bolig and PJ McDougall. Thank you very much for joining us today, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, so we're in Seussical the Musical now. Where should we go? We'll start with PJ. How about we start with PJ? PJ,
Sure.
tell us who you play.
I play Mrs. Mayor.
Ah, okay. And Grant?
I play Mr. Mayor.
Oh, you guys are married. Yeah. How's that been going?
It's a little bumpy road, but
Yeah.
like we're getting there.
Okay,
We're getting there.
all right.
We've had our problems, but
Yeah.
You've grown past it. How'd
We've
you
grown
two-
past
How'd you two meet?
Wow.
You take the story.
Okay. So, well, it was the day, first practice, and I didn't know who he was. And then the director called Mrs. and Mr. Mayor come up or something like that. I'm just like, oh, now I know who that is.
Wow, that's a compelling story.
Yeah,
That's
it's
that's
a very,
that's an amazing
yes,
story.
yes.
That's great, and it's been history ever since. It's
Yes.
just
Yep.
been
Yes.
a wonderful thing. So you're the Mr. Mayor, and you're the Mrs. Mayor.
Yes.
What are the roles of the mayors in this? What is it that the mayors do as part of this production?
We're kind of distressed parents because our kid is kind of running around.
Your kid Violet,
Yeah.
JoJo.
Yeah, we don't like her friends.
Oh, she's
Yes.
running
She's
with the
hanging
wrong
around
group.
with that cat, and the
Yeah,
cat
the
keeps, like,
cat
getting
is like
weird
making
things
her
in
think
head.
these crazy thoughts,
Yeah.
and she's just going wild.
Wait a
thinking
second.
all these
The
things.
cat is in this too. There's Horton and the cat.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh, no
The
kidding.
one's not. The cat's not here today, but
Are you sure?
they can pop out of nowhere.
All right. So who plays the cat?
Trissa Pedersen. Thank you, Trissa Pedersen. I always want to say Peterson. I know that's wrong. Trissa couldn't be with us today, but she does play the cat in the hat, and she does a wonderful job at it. It's just a really fun creation. JoJo creates these things throughout the show, and the cat happens to be one of them. And so as the story progresses, it's all about seeing what else JoJo can create.
So tell us a little bit about the creations from JoJo. This is because everything happens live on stage, on sets that you guys are building and painting and
Yeah.
everything like that. So tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on.
Well, as parents, we don't like her things, but I really like Gertrude's tail.
Gertrude's Tale. What's
Yes.
Gertrude's Tale?
So she has a one-feathered tail, and then she
So-
eats pills from the pillberry bush, and then she grows a really long tail.
So this is Tale, Tail, not Tale.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And is there an actual tail that grows on
Oh,
stage?
yes.
Oh.
Yes,
Mhm.
and it's very colorful. It's very colorful.
Very,
Peacock-like.
very colorful.
Very
Yes,
colorful.
Very peacock-like.
All right. Very. And this is there a song associated with this?
Yes.
What song is that?
It's Amazing Gertrude, and maybe she'll have to tell us a little bit more about it when she comes up here.
Oh, Gertrude will be joining us later?
Gertrude
Oh,
will
we
be
didn't mean to
joining
steal
us
our
later.
thunder. All right, we're looking forward to that. How come everybody has different colored shirts on?
It is for.
So, can I? So the yellow shirts are the Who's. A gray shirt is that only Horton?
Horton is the only gray
Okay,
shirt.
Horton was the only gray shirt. Blue is a lot of Gertrude, and Maisie is red.
And Maisie is red.
Yeah.
She's the only red one?
She's the only
Red
red
There's
one.
one red shirt?
There's one red shirt, one blue shirt, and maybe they can,
One gray shirt.
and one gray, and they can give you a sneak peek. We also have Jungle Citizens who couldn't be with us today, and they have green shirts.
Oh.
And Miss Clara's entourage, the Bird Girls, are in pink. So it was kind of a fun idea to kind of do representation of the characters. And like I said when you asked about why I picked the show, it is just so bright, and so many different colors. And we were walking in the Columbus Parade for 4th of July, and what a great way to grab some attention and with these brightly colored shirts. And it's also kind of fun. Like you get to hang out with your crew and your family. And if Cat is black and crew is also black shirts, so it was a fun thing. Try something new. Try something different.
I think that's the first time I've seen different colored shirts as part of one of these productions. You guys having fun so far?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a fun show in general. I saw it when I was really little, so then when I heard about that we're gonna do the show, I was really happy about it.
You saw it when you were really
Yeah, I
little,
saw
so
it,
like 2 years ago, 3.
I think I was about 4 or 5, but the high school did it quite a few years ago,
It
and it
stuck
was really
with
good.
you.
Yeah, it
It
stuck
did.
with me. I knew like most of the songs when I was starting out. They're a little bit changed because it's supposed to be a little shorter since it's the junior version, but yeah, I saw it when I was really little, and I was really happy to know that we're doing this play.
Are you in any of the scenes that you had like fallen in love with as a younger person that you get to do now?
Here on Who, yes, that's probably the one that was really fun to watch too, because they had all the funky hair that all the Who's are. Since it's kind of like Crazy Hair Day, that's what we kind of tell them to wear for the show. Yeah,
We have some really crazy hair.
really crazy hair,
Yeah.
Crazy. Is this your own hair or are these wigs?
This is our own hair.
own hair.
Yes.
You guys using a lot of hairspray? A lot of
No hairspray.
hair bands and
Well, it
ties
depends on
and-
the person.
Okay, all right. You've got very long hair. Is that your actual hair or
Yes,
is that a wig?
this is my actual hair. It's
Okay.
a little fuzzy because I had like 8 braids in for the show, but
But you don't now.
yeah,
Okay.
6.
6
yes.
braids.
Yes.
That's-
Took the time to count.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yes.
So
Not
what
an octopus.
what has been one of the hardest things as part of this production?
Probably learning your character.
Yeah.
There are so many different character traits to every character, and it is difficult to figure out which part you are in the play and what you need to act as, and just digging in and finding it.
Well, who is your character, Mrs. Mayer?
Yes, I am trying to be the best wife and mother there is, so I'm very concerned about Violet, JoJo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What kind of personality are you utilizing for?
I am mostly worried some of the
Okay.
time. I am trying to be, portray, as the mayor's wife, I need to look official, that kind of stuff, in front of the audience. And then when I'm at home, I let loose and I'm just freaking out about my child. Why is this happening?
Why are we getting so many emails
Yeah.
from our teachers?
And then right back to the public again. I have to make sure, I have to hide my private life and show them that I'm capable of doing this, and then I'm not. So
Tell us about the mayor's
Sure.
personality. Mr. Mayor's personality.
I'm trying to be the best mayor I can. I'm worried about my kid, but I'm more worried about our town that's on this tiny little speck of dust and drifting through everywhere. We could go in water, we could hit something. So we're kind of worried about that. And when Horton finds us, we're very happy about it.
So do you guys realize that you're floating on a little
Yes.
pebble of
Yes.
dust?
Yes.
I don't know how.
Okay,
But
you have a self-realization.
yes.
I mean, aren't we
Yeah.
technically right now on Earth just maybe on a little pebble of dust
be.
anyway?
Yes.
Kind of.
All right.
But
So,
we have very good scientists at Who.
we do,
We
you do,
yes.
and the WHO scientists.
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
a very
We
nice
understand.
space program.
Yes, very good. Very good.
That's good to know that you guys have been looking into this. So you guys have been in plays before at
Yes.
Beaver Dam Area Community Theater. 3 for you?
6.
6. 6 plays. How old are you?
I am 12
You're 12.
in 6th grade.
And you're in 6th grade. You're going into 7th, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you've done, what, 3 years of Teletale?
I only did 1 year at Teletale.
You only did 1 year at Teletale.
So,
So what are the 6? Can you name them all?
I think I can. Miss Pierce might have to help. I had Joseph and Amazing Technicolor
That-
Dreamcoat.
That's the main stage.
That was the main stage quite a few years
yeah.
ago. Wizards of Oz was also a main stage quite a few
Were
years
you a
ago.
Munchkin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Munchkin and a one of the monkeys.
No. So you've done some adult. You've done some of the
Yeah.
the tele.
Fairy
the
Tale
kids
Christmas. My first show was Mother's Curtain.
Stuff? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was
yeah.
in that with you.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
I remember that.
it's heavy duty stuff.
It
You
was.
did a great job, by the way.
I got really scared every time she whacked the dandelion out of my hands. That was scary.
Yeah. There was some
Yeah.
very mature themes that were taking place in that.
I don't remember most of that. Peter Pan in this show.
Peter Pan. Now that was
Peter Pan. That was the Teletale show that I
the
did.
Teletale show. Very good. And all of those, well, a couple of those were on the high school stage.
Yep.
But a lot of those were at the theater where
Yes.
Seussical the musical is going to be this week.
Yeah.
How about you, PJ?
Well, I started off with a Munchkin and the Lullaby League and a Jitterbug in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, wow, okay. On the
So-
big stage at the high school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was the smallest and I was like, what? it was kind of freaky,
You
but
started off. That was your first
yes,
one?
that was my first one.
You skipped Teletale, you went right to the big kids play.
Yes, that
Okay.
was in first grade.
That
Or
must
no,
have been
second grade.
Second grade,
Yes.
okay, wow.
And then in third grade, I did Peter Pan and I was Tinkerbell.
Okay.
In fourth grade, I did Musicville and I was Counterpoint.
Okay.
I was very, I don't know, what is it, 90s? 50s, those poodle skirts.
Yeah.
It's just,
I
I was
get
just all happy everywhere.
I get the 50s and the 90s confused all the time. You should have seen the poodle skirts I wore to high school. It was just crazy. So go on.
And then in fifth grade, in the Grunch, I was the Grunch.
Ah,
So that
yes.
was pretty fun.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Very
A lot of
mean, that kind
those
stuff.
on the stage of the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater on North Spring Street, where again, Seussical the musical will be on that stage for 6 performances this week. But probably the last time that you'll have a chance, maybe. I mean, I know there's a couple more plays that are geared toward the older actors and everything like that, but probably your last opportunity to act on that. What are your thoughts about the community theater that you know right now, that building?
Well, I'll be a little, it'll be all new, and there'll be like different chairs, so you're not looking at the same thing when you're performing. And then I won't know all the pathways around it. Like, I know how to get from one place to another, like without going through stage and all that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna kind of miss that, like
Yeah,
not
whole new
knowing where everything is.
That'll be the biggest thing for you. How about you, Grant?
I'm really gonna miss it. I've been doing shows on the stage since I was really little. Especially since I know this place like the back of my hand. I probably won't know the new theater and probably won't know it very well for a while. But I kind of miss it. I mean, I won't miss the creatures that live in there and stuff.
Of
It's
course.
kind of creepy.
Or the ghosts.
Mhm,
Sure.
Yeah, all the ghosts. Yeah, I think I'm really gonna miss it. I really liked this stage.
All right. The theater is not really haunted. I would just like to make that just clarify
Bats
that
are
point.
haunting it.
Yeah, you may have little.
Everyone
little
thinks
bats.
it's haunted.
Yeah, you guys still talk about that at rehearsals and stuff. You guys are
Not as much. We've grown out of that.
kind of. That was more of a elementary
Yes,
school.
that was
type of thing.
Teletale.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We'll have the elementary school kids on next Monday to talk about their big play. We'll find out how haunted they think the theater is at that time. In the meantime, why don't you do me a favor, and we'll begin with Mrs. Mayer. Tell our listeners why they should make it a point to catch Seussical the Musical Junior sometime this week, either Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. They got 6 performances to choose from. They can go to one or all 6. Why should they do it?
Well, it's Seuss, no? Like, that means that it's odd and really fun and new. Like, it's kind of one of a kind.
All right.
Can't really get our special acting anywhere else, We're very special children. We're very special children.
Grant?
I would say, like Violet said, you've read these books all your life, the kind of books you would read as you're a kid. And also, it's kind of cool to see all of these books put into one play. You wouldn't think it could be done, but they pulled it off very well.
All right, and you can see them pull it off this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 o'clock. Wednesday and Friday, there are also matinees at 1:30 at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater building on North Spring Street. Tickets are $8 available right now at Recheck's Food Pride during their operating hours, or 24 hours a day at bdact.org. I want to thank our guests for joining us on this segment, PJ McDougall and Grant Bolig. We do have to take a break. When we come back, a final segment with this group right around the corner. And then we have a kind of a special surprise after this. We're going to have another guest, but we do have to take that break first. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
On it page at dailydodge.com, brought to you by John Deere Horicon Works.
We have 84 degrees in Beaver Dam. It is 19 minutes after 1 o'clock. Community comment continues. Once again, here's Craig Wormbold.
And our guests are with the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater, the middle school youth troupe that's putting on a show this week. It's called Seussical the Musical Junior. It's on the stage Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 o'clock with matinees at 1:30 on Wednesday and Friday. bdact.org for more information and tickets. Those tickets also at Recheck's Food Pride. We got Jessica Lawrence here in the studio with us. She is the director of Seussical the Musical. And we've got two more actress slash students, we'll call them, because this is a learning opportunity for the kids. We want to welcome into the studio Clara Hale and Alana Shuett.
Hello.
Hi there.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Now, this is not your first time on Community Comment, is it?
No.
No, you were here for what?
Yeah, Princess, what's her name?
What's her name?
That was 3 years ago.
Did you forget her name already? It was
Yeah,
3 years ago?
Yeah, I don't even remember being here, honestly.
I'm glad I made such an impact on you that you're able to carry that with you through the rest of your life. And how about you, Clara?
I was here 2 years ago for Musicville.
And did you also forget about your time here with me?
I did not.
See, that is the correct answer, just in case you were wondering. So tell us a little bit about, and we'll start with you, Clara, since you remember me. Clara, what character are you in Seussical?
I play Maisie LeBird. She is the leader of kind of like the girl group of the jungle. She's really sassy and self-centered. She's really fun to play. Maisie causes some problems, not on purpose, but her fault. She makes Horton do some not very smart decisions, and then Horton has to deal with consequence that I make him have to do.
The girl group of the jungle.
The Bird Girls.
The Bird Girls
Yeah,
of the
they're
jungle.
kind of like a doo-wop group kind of thing, where they like harmonize a lot in the show, and they're narrators in a sense. The cat and the Bird Girls are narrators in the story. So when, say, an event happens, they'll explain it to you, or like sing the back part.
Okay, all right. So you're singing narrators,
Yeah, but I'm not.
but you don't sing.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
not?
I sing, just
Okay.
not as a narrator.
Not as a narrator. You
Yeah.
sing.
I sing.
Is the cat a narrator?
The cat is also a narrator.
But he's also an actor.
Yeah, so are the Bird Girls.
And so are the Bird Girls.
So
It's confusing.
Yeah, like, did you see Little Shop of Horrors?
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so kind of like the doo-wop girl
Ah.
ladies, kind of them. So they have like characters that are in it, but they go out and sing songs.
Yeah, but you're Maisie.
Yeah.
Now, are you Daisy Head Maisie from the Seuss stories? Wasn't that Daisy Head Maisie? Wasn't that like a latter-day Seuss thing? But you're not, apparently, obviously.
I don't
so
know
we'll
what
say
that is.
no.
Yeah.
So just a dumb
I-
question that I've asked just now. But you're, again, the leader of the bird group of the jungle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I think the mean girls of the jungle.
yeah. Like
You're mean?
very mean.
Really?
Sassy.
Sassy, self-centered. We put Gertrude, poor little Gertrude here.
Yep.
We put her down because
You're bullies.
Yeah, because she's not as cool as us.
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah,
That's awful.
But they do help me get my big tail.
but
You're-
in the beginning she doesn't have a big tail, so we're like,
I
huh.
have a one feather tail.
And we all have tails, so we make fun of her for not having a tail.
Because she only has the one feather.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're Gertrude.
Yep.
How's it going?
Good.
Doing okay?
Yes.
Yeah. It sounds like you take a lot of beating up at
Yep.
practice.
I've gotten used to it.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about. No. So we've learned Gertrude has one feather. She gets bullied a lot. Tell us about her personality.
So she's basically like, as soon as she sees Horton, she basically falls in love, and
Because he's an elephant,
Yeah.
And birds and
So-
elephants are meant to be.
She's-
obviously.
She thinks that Horton doesn't notice her because of her only one feather tail, and he's more focused on finding the clover that the monkeys take from him with the city or town of Who on it. And so I think, oh, I'll just get a bigger tail and maybe he'll notice me, and it doesn't end up working. And I realized that you should just like be yourself, and so I end up not having a tail anymore. So
So, I mean, there's really a great message at the end of
Yeah.
this. Not to mention, I mean, there's, bullying is a serious thing right now, and this kind of
Yeah.
touches upon that.
Well, I would say it's not quite. It's teasing.
it's kind yeah,
It's
I was
like
gonna
more.
say
It's more
teasing.
friendly.
Okay.
Like it's not like hurting her.
Mhm.
But
Because
like,
I'm like, I wish I had her tail.
yeah,
like,
you like dream.
I'm like
of
in
being
awe of her
me.
tail.
Not like I'm so great, but like you dream. Like Gertrude wants to be Maisie.
Yeah.
And wants to fit in and be like the cool girls and like join our group, but she can't.
So
we
what's
won't let her.
what's the message that you think kids who see this will take away from this aspect of the story with
Be yourself.
Gertrude?
I think
Yeah.
be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the main message in the show too is like be yourself, be creative, and don't be afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Because like Horton and JoJo, they're scared to like be themselves in front of people, and like JoJo, she's scared to tell everyone her thinks, but she does anyway. But like at the end, they learn just to like, so we can do what we want. We are our own people. We don't have to follow with the group.
Wow. Gertrude, would you agree with that?
Yeah. Because I think even like in the beginning, Gertrude thinks that it will work not being herself basically, and getting this big tail and trying to be Maisie, and in the end you just really have to be yourself. It doesn't pay off to try to be someone
Because
else.
everyone else is already taken.
Wow. Deep conversations here with the middle schoolers that are part of the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater Summer Youth Troupe presenting Seussical the Musical. It is a musical. Do you guys have a favorite musical number?
Yes.
Well,
You
tell
answered
us.
so quickly.
I really like I have two. Amazing Maisie, which is a song I sing, and a song JoJo sings called "It's Possible." "It's Possible" is really cool because it's like water and there's fish and people come out and there's giant jellyfish and like they take umbrellas and they like put streamers and stuff on them. So there's jellyfish and there's stingray and it's like really cool and it's all like really like and it's really colorful. And I like Amazing Maisie because, well, first
It's
I'm
you.
in it because and my sister who's the choreographer, she knows me, so she put in stuff that she knows I look funny doing. So
Or can you give us an example? Maybe show our video viewers at home one of the
Okay.
uncomfortable things that your sister's making you do.
Yeah, they move hips a lot.
A lot of hip movement going on there.
more than usual. We take 2 steps and we have to stop to shake our hips every time.
Now, so your sister is a choreographer.
Yeah, she's the choreographer for Seussical, which We Are Monsters. She was in Footloose and she's in Anything Goes.
Wow, yeah. So my daughter's in We Are Monsters, and she has been raving about the choreographer. And I'm not just making that up. She's like, we went to go see Footloose, and she's like, she's in Footloose. I can't wait to go see this. I think she was the reason we went. But anyway, I mean, choreography is so much. For those who aren't familiar with a choreographer and what they do, can you kind of explain that?
So musical numbers are a big part of shows, especially musicals.
Mhm.
Well, not really plays, but musicals. And the choreographer does plans, movements, and dances. So we're not just standing
And
there
then
singing.
teaches it to us.
Yeah.
And then has to constantly repeat it if people don't understand it. And
Or go
does
with
it
it-
step
or-
by step.
Or
and
turn the wrong direction, or
Yep.
put the wrong foot out first. But choreography is a really big part of Seussical because it's
Yeah.
mostly song.
it pays off in the end.
It does, learning all that kind of stuff. You think choreography is something you'd want to learn? I mean, like as
Like,
far as
I-
teaching
I
choreography,
think
being a
it'd be kind
choreographer?
of fun to follow
Yeah.
my sister's footsteps
Yeah.
to do that because my sister's really cool. So I want to be like her.
Do you have any other family members that have been in the theater before you that have been able to give you any tips?
Yeah. My mom, she was in shows when she was in high school. She actually performed Annie, Get Your Gun, and she was Annie in it.
Oh, no kidding.
And I think the funny part was one of her friends from high school played, what is it, the love interest, Frank Butler, maybe? I don't know.
Sure.
And they had to kiss.
Yeah. The mayor just got a look of fear in his eyes.
But yeah, and she gives me tips, like singing tips, because she was really into choir and stuff in school.
Okay.
So I think I kind of also get my singing capabilities from her, because no
Right.
offense, Dad, but he can't sing very well.
Can't
So-
carry a tune in a bucket, can Dad, huh?
Yeah. And she gives like entering how to walk and ways to scan the audience to make sure you like to find people, to know, to find where your family is so you can't look there.
Yeah, I've done that.
Because one
It
time,
makes you laugh and smile.
yes, I had to be super serious, and I looked at my cousin, and she was just smiling so hard, and
And
I
they go
got
like this.
characters so
They're
many
just
times.
like, hi, and I'm like, no.
You can't break that fourth wall, can you? No, how about you, Alana? Do you have any siblings that have been in the theater?
Well, my brother was in it once. He was in last year's play. He was in the Grunch, and he was the train conductor.
Okay.
But I've been in a lot, and my grandma, and actually my mom and aunt have been in a few, but not for a while.
Who's your
But-
grandma?
Judy Pierce. She's the
Judy
producer.
Pierce. She's
this
produced.
year.
Can you describe her? Is she here today? Is she?
Yes.
Oh.
She
Oh, there's Judy.
is.
Hi, Judy.
She's directed a
Now-
lot of other plays
Now,
too.
Judy has been kind of critical in the whole Teletale thing. You've been
Oh,
around
my
the
goodness,
Teletale thing
yes.
for a while. We don't want to undersell your involvement with it. What kind of advice did you get from Judy? Grandma Judy, excuse me.
She helps, like, because she's there sometimes, like today she was, and she has been a lot at the end, so she'll watch me and she'll say, like, you need to, like, get more into it, sort of, and not just, like, stand there, because I kind of just stand there, and I have to really get into it, and, like, if, like, in one of my songs, I say, like, I hobbled, like, so, like, I have to show it, and I wasn't showing it, and she's like, you could do that, and she just gives me, like, tips and stuff like that, and to smile or look out into the audience or something.
That's good. And now that's in the theater. When are you guys ever at at home or something? And she's like, you know what you should do? I got this idea. Do you ever do anything
Well,
like
yeah,
that?
and she helps me, like, to remind me, and I watch different videos of, like, other people doing it, so I can get ideas and, like choose sort of how I want to get into my character.
I think all of us did that when we found out we were doing
Yeah.
Seussical. We all scoured YouTube for videos.
Yep.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are there
Yes.
a lot of examples on YouTube of your
Yes.
character?
Yes.
Yeah, I did, and I found some cool videos of the high school doing Seussical.
Okay.
There was one, they
Beaver
had
Dam High School.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had ones, they had only the duet between Maisie and Gertrude, and I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to be one of them.
Yeah.
And here you are.
Yeah.
And you guys have a duet together then?
Yes.
Kind of. I'm a
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
like the
singing-
first part of the song is
you,
it's me singing,
and then I
it goes
crash
into
it.
her amazing Maisie.
It's
Okay.
she's all sweet, and then I walk on and ruin everything.
Yeah. And then I'm just like, oh, I wish I had the tail, and
And I
I
shake
could
my
be like
hips,
her.
and I
Yeah.
shake my hips bragging about it.
So we've got, we've been kind of one of the things I've been asking all the kids that have come up here, and it's going to be kind of the theme of community comment after you guys leave. We've got some special guests coming on to talk about the theater building on North Spring Street. You guys have had many shows that you've done there. What are your thoughts here about the fact that this will probably be, the last show that you do at that theater building?
I'm gonna be sad about it because that theater has been in my family, like we owned it. But like we've done a lot of stuff there. Like my mom did stuff there in high school, and my sister did stuff, and I did my first show on that stage.
Wow.
So I'm kind of like sad to say goodbye to it, but I'm also really excited because we're gonna be able to have stuff come down from like the above area.
Right.
Right now we have to pull everything on or bring it, but then we can just lower it.
Sure.
And I just hope we don't lose like how cool our stage is, because like last year Into the Woods, they would not have had such a cool set.
It was awesome.
Yeah, their set was the coolest thing, and it wouldn't have been so cool if it was on a square stage. I just hope we keep our like how many entrances we have, and all the shape of the stage, because it's really fun to have so many like wings and all the places you can be. So just a big square.
Awesome. Very good. How about you, Alana?
Well, I'm kind of sad, but also kind of happy because I know, first of all, that more people will be able to come and watch because of the handicap accessibility. And we will actually have a pit right now. We have you can call it a pit, but like it's up
It's,
above,
like, a
and it's
balcony.
really, really small.
And it's really, really hot.
Yeah.
Says somebody who
it's-
sounds like they performed in there.
And so the big one, under the stage, sort of like the high schools, will be a big thing, and then also it'll be handicapped, so like handicapped people, if they would like to play down there, they can.
That's great.
And we might have like sort of more than one stage, but like not
I
really.
think we're gonna have, but I'm excited to do that, like have multiple stages, because then we can use our
Yeah.
set earlier. 'Cause we started using our set last week, so
Yeah.
it's still a new
Because
experience.
Footloose just ended,
Yeah.
so you guys,
Right.
were you even able to get on stage before last
Yeah.
week?
Yep.
Yeah.
You just had to do it with the Footloose stuff on
Yeah, and
there.
we had to make sure we were like out of their way and like didn't leave stuff on stage
Right.
and stuff like that.
Awesome, very well. Sounds like stuff is coming together. Why don't you do me a favor and, Alana, tell our listeners why they should make it a point to catch Seussical the Musical this week on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, and/or Saturday.
Yeah. I think because you can really like connect, as everyone else was saying, this it's kind of repetitive, but that you can connect to your inner child sort of, and also just to see everyone or everything come to life, and JoJo's thinks and everything she thinks of just come to life right in front of your eyes instead of just reading it out of a Seuss book or something like that.
Awesome, Clara.
I think you should come see it because it's a really fun show. There's a lot of not like things happening, and there's so many colors and you have really cool costumes and hair.
And hair.
Like there's Who's one of my friends. She stuck a cup on her head and pushed her hair all around it, and then took like the hair that wouldn't reach and braided it and like, twisted it all in her hair, and it was pretty cool. And there's some really good actors, and some people like this is their first show, and I think it's such a cool experience to see kids to do their first things. And it's fun too because you can recognize people from other shows, and you're like, oh, I wouldn't expect them to do that. I wouldn't expect them to walking out shaking their hips, or I wouldn't expect them to be crying. Well, not crying, but like, well, no, they're not crying, but they're
Because
like,
you're not actually you on stage. You're your character.
and I think, and it's really a cool experience to see all those books come to life and not have to read them, but just watch them.
And, I gotta say, Jessica, this great group of kids that you've got here.
Really is.
What do you got, 40 kids in the
Yeah,
production?
I think if we include crew, we're up to 44, 45,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
a lot. 46.
46.
Don't
Don't wanna leave anybody out.
I don't. It's been a blast. It's a lot of bodies to squeeze backstage. I'll give them that. They're doing well, and it's just been a lot of fun.
Now, wrap it all up for us. Tell our listeners why you think, and our viewers, why you think they should check out Seussical the Musical.
One of the things that we keep saying is that the kids ask, "Why does this happen?" And just in the progression of the story, and I was like, well, it's Seuss. It's one giant think, and there's not always a lot of logic to that think. And so it becomes that kind of. So then they have to make those connections themselves, and you just get to watch the magic happen. And it's these middle school students that are bringing it to life, and they. Sometimes it seems like they live, eat, breathe Seuss. So there's been some of them who've been memorized, and so I don't know, day 2, maybe when they got the call. Well, it's been crazy, and it's been so much fun, and just seeing these kids go out there and have so much fun. There's no way that you could be sitting in the audience and not just catch all of that energy and excitement.
Well, fantastic. I'd like to thank you guys for coming on the program with your energy and excitement today and telling us all about Seussical the Musical.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Once again, that is Clara Hale, Alana Shuett, and Jessica Lawrence. Also want to thank Violet Kennedy and Neil Vanheisen, Grant Bolig, and PJ McDougall for joining us earlier in the program. Remind our listeners they can go to bdact.org for more information or to get tickets, which are $8. Again, the show dates are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week at 7 o'clock. There's also matinees on Wednesday and Friday at 1:30. We do have to take a break. When we come back, we do have some special guests for you. We're going to kind of continue the conversation, some of the questions we've been asking the kids about this being their last experience at the current theater building. We're going to talk about that old theater building and what's in store for the future, but mostly kind of about the history of that old theater building on North Spring Street when we return here on Community Comment. With
Humble.
Kind of a special segment we're doing here in the month of July when we have the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater on several times throughout the course of the season, because it's your busy season at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater.
Absolutely.
We've had the high schoolers on this earlier. We had the middle schoolers on. Next week at this time we'll have the elementary school kids on. And then we're gonna have everybody, well, not everybody, but then we're gonna cap everything off with the big main stage production, which is Anything Goes at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater. And our guests here on this segment are with Anything Goes, but really it's more than that. We're really here to talk about the history of the theater here now that it's in its final year in its current location. So we've got some folks here who are not just in Anything Goes, which again is on the stage early next month, but they were on the first summer musical stage at the current Beaver Dam Area Community Theater as we know it. We want to welcome into the studio Diane Lutz, Pat Lutz, and Gina Berg. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So first things first, you'll be here in a couple weeks to promote Anything Goes, but we should maybe just mention some show dates so people know.
Sure.
We'll get that out of the way. Anything Goes, who, what, when, where, why?
Anything Goes opens, we have a preview performance on the 1st of August, but then our official opening is August 3rd, and it runs through August 11th with August 7th, The Dark Night. So there won't be a performance that day, but everything else, all the other dates, there will be performances, matinees on those 2 Sundays, and other performances start at 7:30. So
Excellent. And you guys are directing and starring and doing, I imagine, Pat's
We're
doing the whole
involved,
set
right?
and everything
Yes.
like that.
Yep.
You're starring,
I am.
and you did that before, if I'm not mistaken?
I did. I
Okay.
did with the first show
All right.
35 years ago.
Okay.
Yep, I played the lead, and so it's really quite something to be doing that again. So 35 years later, but
South Pacific now we're talking
it was
about.
South Pacific originally. Yes.
Yeah, that was 1983.
83. 1983.
Wow. Set the stage for us. What was going on, building up, leading up to the this first show in this new theater?
Well, I can talk a little bit about it. At the very beginning of Beaver Dam Community Theater in 1964, when it was founded, they did their shows at the Wisconsin Theater, which is now the Rogers Cinema. And they did them there for a number of years, up into the early 80s, actually. And what happened is that the Rogers Cinema decided to create a twoplex, which meant that they took the balcony seating and created a small theater in the balcony space. So the community theater then was asked to leave, and we had to find our own space. And what happened is that the theater bounced around. They did a show at the junior high, which is now the middle school, and they did a show at Wayland, and one at the mall where they used a empty space, and a couple other spaces around the community. And it didn't work out real well because people really were never quite sure where was going to be the next production. So when the Baptist church became available, and it became available because the congregation was aging. They were down to between 30 and 40 members, and they just couldn't afford to keep the building. So they decided that they'd put it up for sale, and they were hoping then they could share the building with a group that would purchase it. So they approached the community theater, and people were pretty excited about this opportunity to actually own their own building. And so they purchased the building on land contract, and basically it was kind of like paying rent because we couldn't afford to buy it at that time.
There was no building campaign.
No building campaign at the time. We just kind of jumped into it and said, well, we'll do this, but with the understanding that after a 5-year period, there'd be a balloon payment, which meant that the rest of the money would have to be paid at that 5-year mark. So we were hoping then that we'd have a capital campaign after a couple of years in the building. And so in the spring of 1983, we took charge of the building and shared it with the Baptist congregation at the same time. So it worked out well for a while. Lots of interesting stories about us working together. And it's a great old building. It was built in the early 1900s, and it was actually connected with Wayland. And it was used for a house of worship by the Wayland students because they didn't have their chapel at that particular time, but also a meeting place. They had lectures there, they had graduations, presentations. They use it for a lot of different things.
So you'd have the set of South Pacific up, and they would be doing a church service
Yes.
with it. And
Yes.
You wouldn't have to take it down like you would at the theater.
No, no.
Like
But
Roger Cinema.
but one of the agreements we had with them was that every Saturday night, that some volunteers would come and set up the altar and some of their other religious artifacts for them in front of the stage, and they would have their service.
Yeah. And the building campaign then, that for the balloon payment, obviously, we're sitting here and talking about it. Everything went okay there, it sounds like.
Well, right. It was in 84 and 85, they started with the campaign, and the biggest thing was to pay off the building, but another one of the major items was air conditioning.
Yeah.
We did the very first show, and Gene and Diane can talk about that. We did the very first show with no air conditioning whatsoever.
Wow.
No curtains on the windows, very limited lighting.
This would be an evening performance.
An
I
evening
assume.
performance,
Okay.
but if you think about it, even now, it doesn't really get dark until 9 o'clock.
Right.
And the show started at 8. There was another major problem, mosquitoes.
Correct.
You should just close the doors. So shouldn't that take care of it?
Yeah.
Well, because there was no air conditioning, we had the windows open for some breeze. We had lots of fans. People in the cast and crew brought fans from home and they were blowing. And Carol Fisher was our house manager, and every night for a performance, she'd bring their mosquito netting from their camping equipment. We'd open the windows, we'd put the mosquito netting over the windows, and we created our own tropical environment. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It was very authentic for the South Pacific.
Right. Yeah, what better
So-
perfect location?
Right.
Yeah, fitting show.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I chose it.
Sure.
And, but it was interesting even rehearsing. Patrick talked about the acquisition of the building, but when we first started rehearsing, it was still a church. In other words, when I asked my actors to cross downstage, they literally were crossing downstage because they were walking across the altar and going down some steps into the house. And so it was just very, very, it was kind of funny in a way because we knew that eventually we would get the stage that summer, but I don't think the actual stage came about until after the 4th of July. And we opened at the end of July, so we really weren't working with it for that long.
But you did have a stage for the first production.
Oh, yes.
We did have a
Which
stage.
we know now.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely. It's been expanded a little bit. Another set of steps has been covered over. It's been painted a number of times, but that's the stage.
The baptismal pool is
Right.
underneath the stage right now.
Yes, it is,
So did
right.
they need
Right.
access to that early on or anything? Was that an issue?
It had a number of leaks over the years, so by the time we purchased it, they weren't using it
Yeah,
anymore.
right.
All right.
But it was lined in lead. It was a
Yeah.
tank.
Oh.
And their traditional baptismal ceremony was to actually dip the person, and adults and children.
Full.
And so we have used that space for a number of things over the years and used it actually as part of the set.
It's been the challenge now, how can we use the baptismal font? In our original Guys and Dolls in 85, that was the exit into the sewer.
Is that
So it worked really well. And I think when I did 1940s Radio Hour, we opened it up and that was the radio manager's office down there.
Okay.
Well, we've used it for a number of things, and it's an entrance this summer and anything goes. So
It is.
they're entering through the baptismal font onto the stage. So, I mean, one of those, I think things like this particular stage, because it's long and narrow and you've got some, I guess, obstacles you might say, it's fun to be creative with your blocking and how you create the set because, well, I've got to work around this, what can I do? And a lot of times, because you've got that obstacle, you think differently and you create something that you may not have originally created. That's a little bit more unusual. So it's fun. But we had some examples of that. And I know as Gina was talking about when she was performing on the stage, her perspective as an 18-year-old is a little different than today. But I'm sure that she recognized as well the challenges that it had.
What do you go to when you think about those times?
Right, well, I do remember the conditions. I mean, I remember how hot it was. I remember that, the lights would go out, but it was really not a blackout, so,
Whoops.
you were taking your positions on stage or they were changing a set and, everybody could be easily seen. I remember loud motorcycles, because you'd have the windows open and just, I don't know, I just remember kind of sounds of the city, sounds of summer often being part of rehearsals, performances, whatever, because it was wide open building.
Well,
so.
what is the biggest difference to you when you go to a play now or rehearsing now, obviously now to then?
Well, I guess the main thing is that there's just so many more workable spaces now. You kind of forget about all the spaces that we really didn't have access to and that we couldn't use. And they're telling me, I'm not remembering all this all that well, but even rehearsing outside sometimes,
Really?
just to have a space. I remember, painting things or whatever, we'd be painting outside and, we just didn't have the workable spaces that we have now. So even though the building is old and we need more space, it's kind of amazing what we didn't have
Yeah. You had to
back
grow.
when we started.
You really
Yep.
had to grow into that building. How long would you say it took to get comfortable in that building?
Well, it was a number of years, because starting in '83, the next summer we put draperies up, but that actually complicated things because then we couldn't open the windows. So we had less air circulating. So we tried some creative things, for instance, using blocks of ice, setting up a block ice wall in the basement, blowing fans across it, and then turning the furnace on. Because at the time, we had just one big, massive furnace. And so we were trying to create some air conditioning. And
Did that work?
Well, we had more water in the basement than cool air upstairs, so it didn't work quite as well as we liked. So at that time, after that summer, as attendance started off pretty well in the first weekend, and then it really tailed off after that because people said, we just can't, especially the balcony. It was just torture to sit up there. So
When did you get air conditioning?
well, then, the next part of the
1985.
story was, we had Murray Funeral Home, which was in operation at that time, actually donated a commercial air conditioning unit that they were getting rid of, and we had it refurbished at Surefire, and we set it up, and it was in the space that we use for props now, but it worked really well when there was nobody in the building. So that was another part of it. So
And
we
no
thought,
stage lights on.
right, yeah, we were so excited because we turned it on and the building was cooled off, and we were walking around, a few of us that had been involved in the installation, and we thought, this is so great. And then when the doors opened and all the people came in, it wasn't much better than what we had.
No.
So it was okay for the people on the stage and a few people in the balcony, but at that moment, everybody said, we have to have this capital campaign. So that's when we had the air conditioning units installed for the entire building and upgraded the lighting, painted and new carpeting, and did a number of things to upgrade the building.
And the community showed support at that time, just as they're showing now.
Well, that's one of the things that I have to say is the excitement around the building when we first purchased it in '83. I was working on the set, and we would have people walk through every day. I mean, it was just like, we opened every door, every window, because we wanted to let people know this is our new home. We put a sign out front, painted on a sheet of plywood, and said, coming soon, Beaver Dam Community Theater's South Pacific. And the mailman would stop, walk through every day to see the progress that was being made, because we had to add restrooms, because there were basically restrooms in the basement area, under the stairs, and no public restrooms, though. So we had to add those, and then the set was being built and the stage at the same time. So we had an unpainted stage, and the set was very minimal, but it turned out that everybody was so excited. I mean, it was a huge success, that very first production, and we added an extra production on a Saturday, and with no curtains and set changes. It was brighter than any other time of the day, but we did the show and people enjoyed it, and the last shows were sold out and people were clamoring for more. So
What was the capital campaign? How much was it for? Do you remember?
the original one was for $200,000.
For the air conditioning,
For
buy the
everything,
building, pay the total
everything. I
payment.
wish that was what it would cost for our new building.
Right.
But, yeah, that was it, and people worked very, very hard, and we met our goals, and
That's amazing. That's amazing.
This new campaign and this new building mirrors what happened back in 1983. It really does. I mean, it's the same kind of excitement. I think when people look at our current building, they know that things have to change. And I think one of the biggest things is handicap accessibility. That really, I mean, I have a 95-year-old mother who can't come to the show because she won't be able to get up the steps. And so, I mean, she's fine with that. But it's just an example that I think we all have people who are just not able to come to a show in that building, which is sad because, you know, something like Anything Goes would appeal to lots of folks. And so, as much as we need a new building, I do have to say that I love directing in the building downtown, the one that we're in now, just because what I love about it is the intimate space that it is. And you're so close to the audience, and I'm sure there's something sentimental about it for me and for lots of folks who've performed there. But yeah, it's a special place, and it has great acoustics. And I know people are being mic'd now, and I say, really? Why? Because I think we've never been mic'd other than when I did 1940s Radio Hour, and that's because we had about a 12-piece big band right on the stage. And so if we wanted the audience to hear the people on the stage, we had the microphone set up because it was a radio show, and so that fit in really well.
Will you be using mics for Anything Goes? Okay.
Oh, yeah, we will, because we have the orchestra, I believe, like last summer is going to be was now called the library.
Right.
And I think they have to be mic'd so we have to find that balance, so.
Gina, what are you going to miss most about this theater?
I think it's just the history and the fact that, I mean, obviously I was 18 the first time I performed in the building, because that's when the building existed, but I've been involved in this organization since I was a little kid. And there's just always been people involved in it and very supportive, and the community has been supportive. So, obviously this has been the longest space to this point that this organization has had. And so there is something kind of sentimental about seeing it not be used by the group anymore, so.
Pat, how about you?
well, I feel the same. One of the positives for me is when I first started working there, I was working out of town. I was teaching in another district, and I really didn't know a lot of people. And I have lasting friendships that have come because of Beaver Dam Area Community Theater, and to me, that's pretty important.
Well, that's just fantastic. These stories that come out, even talking to the kids earlier, they've only had a few shows that they've been able to do there, but they also express kind of these same, these feelings of bittersweet about leaving behind something that they've been so close to, but the opportunities that are there for them in the future. Is this a conversation I think we can, because the clock on the wall says we kind of got to get moving. We're gonna pick this up again next week after the youngest kids with the Teletale are on here, and we look forward to doing it at that time. But in the meantime, we should mention that even though you guys are moving into a new theater, there's still a few bucks that needs to be raised to
Absolutely,
get them over the top.
right. We're trying to move in and have a debt-free space. And so if there are people out there that feel they'd like to contribute and haven't done so, there's plenty of opportunities. And like I said, we want to move into that building and not have a debt.
All right. In the meantime, Anything Goes is on the stage at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater August 3rd through the 12th with 2 Sunday matinees, 1 night off, otherwise 7:30 shows. Gina, as the star of the show, are you excited? You off book? Everything ready?
We're not ready, but I am very excited.
All right, very
Very
good.
excited. It's fun to do it again.
We're
in great shape.
Great shape,
We're in great shape.
absolutely. We
Wonderful.
are,
Yeah.
we are.
Tickets are on sale now at Food
Right.
Pride, so
And at BDACT.org.
BDACT.org.
They're reserved seats.
Yes,
Some
they
good
are.
things to keep in mind there.
Right.
We will be able to talk about the show proper in a few weeks when we have you on for the regular slot. But we're going to continue this conversation again about about the history of that theater building, the old Baptist church at, what is it, 229?
219.
219 North
North
Spring
Spring.
Street. We'll pick that conversation up right here next Monday. Again, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Want to
Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Diane Lutz, Pat Lutz, Gina Berg. That's going to do it for today's community comment.
You're listening to AM 1430.